If you're a real estate investor or a wholesaler, right now is the most critical time of your career. And that is because the market is shifting. And if you take the right position and you take the right strategy in this market, you're gonna make more money in the next 12 months than you've made in the entire last 12 years. But you could play the cards wrong and now you could be out of business. Inventory is increasing all over the place. And I'm looking at properties each and every single day, and I'm telling you, I'm astounded by what I'm seeing. Florida, for example, places like Cape Coral, Orlando. When you look at Zillow and you look at the red dots, you could barely see the streets because there's so many properties for sale. If you toggle and you say, hey, I want to know how many properties are for sale over 90 days on the market, a ton, an absolute ton. And there are still properties selling, but there's a lot less of them. So how do you counteract this situation? How do you make sure that you're on the winning side? I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. Number one is you have to be ready to educate the seller on new market conditions. The sellers don't know. Sellers are still up. They're still smoking that, you know what, thinking that their house is worth a lot of money, but you got to bring them down to earth, but you got to be able to bring them down to earth with statistics. If a seller is asking $300,000 for their property, that means that competition is somewhere between 225 to say 450. You can pull those stats and say, you know, Mr. Seller, right now, there's over 1,500 properties for sale in your price point. X number of those properties are on the market now for over 90 days. Only 100 of these are pending. So that means that the majority of the properties are not selling. That means that if you want to sell your property, it ain't gonna happen with this price point. So either A, you can sell now, get the most you can now, we'll buy the property, we'll fix it up, put it in its proper condition, and then take the risk of potentially the market going down, but that's on us, not on you. And you take the money now and you move on with the rest of your life. Or you just wait, because either A, you're gonna get a lot less money later, or you may be stuck with a house a lot longer than you need. So educating the seller is number one, for your benefit and for them. Because if you got a seller, realistically, that they really need to move, they got a bad situation, it's your duty to educate them and tell them, here's what the deal is. By the way, if you're interested in learning how to do nationwide wholesaling with online lead generation, I'm talking about Facebook, TikTok, and Google ads, go ahead and click the link in the description. You can find out more how we can help you do that. Secondly, you can no longer look at sold properties as comps by themselves. You have to look at pendings and you have to look at actives. I had a property that I was looking at the other day. Owner wanted 350, or thought owner wanted less than 350. I think they wanted 280, but they thought that the house was worth 350. But when I look at active properties for sale, same square footage, 1,200, there were about 3 or 4 of them that were completely rehabbed. I'm talking about nice white kitchen cabinets. I mean, this place was nice. These places were top notch. And they were at 330, sitting in the market for 60 days. What does that tell you? That if an investor bought that house, the prospect that I'm talking about, bought their house, rehabbed it, put it back in the market for 350, it ain't selling. It is not going to sell. There was a one that was pending that was asking 300, and now it's pending, same square footage, completely redone. So that shows that the ones for 330, they ain't going anywhere, and the one that listed for 300 ended up selling. Now, what did they sell for? I don't know, but it went on the market and was sold relatively quickly. So in that scenario, I know that this property ain't worth 350. This property is worth listed 300, and so then now you got to work from that number. So it's very important that you understand that you can no longer just look at sold properties. You have to look at active and pendings. The next part of the equation is you got to be able to get deeper discounts. Now, how do you get deeper discounts? It's a little bit easier said than done. Number one is you educate the seller. Number two is remember, if you're not embarrassed about your offer, it's too high. You got to go for 20 to 25K assignments so that if something goes wrong, you end up at 12 to 15K assignments. That's the way it works. The real way, the way that I will circumvent this, is by playing the volume game. Because if you are in the convincing business and you have to talk to these sellers, and some of these sellers are knuckleheads and they don't want to hear the truth, you're going to have a long ass time on the phone getting nowhere. Instead, What I do is I play the sifting and sorting game. And the sifting and sorting game is that I generate an overabundance of leads, more than I could ever do or need, at a very affordable cost. I'm talking about leads at $25. You could do nationwide leads at $15. And now I'm just sifting and sorting through them. I get a rack of 10 leads. I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, that guy, bozo. Hey, that guy is a good one. I just saw a lead today come in from Dallas, Texas. The market value is $199. And the person already on the form said they were looking for $130. That's low-hanging fruit, baby. That's what we need. You need sellers like that. They have motivation, they're reasonable, and then now all we need to do is just get a little bit of a discount, and now we're gonna make some money. You need volume. The next thing you can do is you can protect yourself by not being in any one particular market. And if you're in Cape Coral, you're in Orlando, there's a lot of inventory in those markets. You got to get deals at a deep discount. There's a lot of other investors in those areas. Why not spread out across more markets? I many times hear a lot of resistance from people. Cris, how do I get boots on the ground? How do I analyze a property without ever seeing it? How do I do this? How do I do that? You just got to learn how to do it. There's people I can teach you. There's people out there that can teach you. You can do this business. All of our deals are completely virtual in areas of the country that we know nothing about, yet we still do deals routinely. An average assignment fee for us is $15K. By spreading yourself out across different markets, then you're insulating and protecting yourself from any one market going bad. Because you can't look at the housing market as a total housing market in the US. Every state has its own individual market. Some are doing better than others. So by focusing on 15 to 20 states, spread out across the country where you're doing deals virtually, you're getting leads at 20 to 25, it's the perfect solution. You're in the sifting and sorting game, you're across several markets, you're insulated. If one market goes to crap, you don't give a damn, because you got another whole bunch of them that are coming down the pipe, and that is what you need. There's money to be made out there. You just got to be able to be smart and take advantage of it. What you should do is check out this video here that shows you step by step what we do to generate so many leads, and maybe you can do the same.